This is unhitching your van when you get to your site. So pull the locking handle out, lower your jockey wheel, fold that out of the way, and start taking the weight. And before you take too much weight, we engage our brake on the van. We've got 2 wheel chocks. They can either go over one side, or probably best off putting on 1 wheel chock under each wheel on each side. Handbrakes on. Disconnect your toe secure. Disconnect your Anderson plug and your 12 pin, your trailer adapter. And do your D shackles, get them out of the way. Unhitch your coupling, unlock your coupling, and we wind it up. So a quick one to remember is to get the level out of the front boot, you get your forward and aft, or your front and rear level with the jockey wheel. Set like that. And then depending on what your setting is either way, if you are on a bit of a slope site, then you use the wheel ramps to level up the van on one side. Next one's your drop down legs. Pull the handle out of the front boot, pull the red handles. There's one of these on each corner. So releasing the pop top, there's 4 latches, 1 on each corner. Just in relation to opening the awning, you must make sure that the locking tabs are out of the way, and the black, make sure these are loose as well. That's the crossbar lock, so make sure that both on the front and the rear. Locking pin, the locking tabs out of the way, and your nut is loose. So with these ones, they do get fouled up on your awning, so you need to flick your awning to open, grab your black strap to pull it out a bit, and that assists in taking these 2 latches off. I'd recommend to pull it out around that far, maybe a little bit further, about there. Step out, open the door so it doesn't touch the awning. We come inside, using 2 hands, pop it up, and I've just had it open, but once you open it, you'll notice that these are shut. So for ventilation, we open those up. There's another lifting point here. Make sure when they're fully extended, that your locking pin is in place. That stops it from falling back down. And then same thing, if you want some extra ventilation, just roll the cover down. There is one on either side as well. So we make sure it's in the open position. The lever has to be in the open position.
Where's the lever?
Just on the outside there. Just there. Then, with the strap, we pull it right out. and you can slide that up this end to get it out of the way. Next thing to do is to slide the carry bar or the crossbar right up, and it's got a little locking tab in the end of it. That locking tab carefully must go through the little notch in the end of it. That keeps it secure. Next thing to do, grab the white handle, lift it up. We usually lift it up to around the third or the fourth last hole. That's third last hole at the moment. And just make sure you got a little bit of weight on that, not too much. Tighten up the locking screw. Do the same thing with the forward one. Slide it up. Make sure the plastic locking tab's out of the way because they can snap off. Once again, that's in the recess up there, a little notch up there. Lift the handle, slide it up to around about that third last one. Little bit of weight on it just so the awning's tensioned up, and then you lock the screw. That's the basic setup of the awning. If you wanted to run the privacy screen's in the front boot. You can get that out, and there's a sail track. You can just see just there. That's the track that the privacy screen runs through. There's also pegs, ropes, hammer, etc. in the front boot that you can,
all in there,
if you want to set up the privacy screen. If for any reason you don't have to leave it like this, so the other way to set it up is to actually lift the handle, actually leave it there, you let that out, just a little locking pin there, locking tab there, bring it down, so you can see how that's just gone too high. Now we've got slack in the system, so you just drop that down a little bit so you see that it's level. Realistically, you want the crossbar to be level, and then you want this to be vertical. So you do both of these, both ends. Yep, that's all right, I'll fix it up in a sec.
Yep.
So I just shortened that a little bit as I was moving it out. Put that there. And then you can see that's round about level, maybe a little bit higher. And then we pull the awning again, tighten it up. This one's a little bit too high. Undo the locking screw, pull the awning out, and tighten it up. From here, if you are setting it up like this, I'd recommend grabbing one of the double guy ropes from either from inside the boot and setting it up to wrap around each corner and run two guy ropes out on each corner with pegs, and as I said, the hammers and everything.
And there. If it's windy or stormy, it needs to be pulled back in.
Yeah, so any wind, they're pretty expensive to fix. Insurance does cover it, but they're expensive to fix. So yeah, please be cautious, keep an eye on the weather. Hail or strong winds, the awning needs to be taken back in. Front bed end, unlock it.
And there'll be a key to unlock it too.
Yeah, you'll have a key to unlock it. It's got two struts, as you can see, to help lift it up. Pull this out nice and gently, and that'll stay there. The rear one is much the same. So just put the weight, take the weight off that. Same thing with this side, and that'll just come up by itself. Only difference is with this one, it's got a locking latch on it. Push in a little bit, release it, and the bed end comes down. If you want to run the storm covers, feel free. If it's raining, it's probably a good option to do so.
Yeah.
You'll see that there's got sail track right around here. And there's two storm covers in a white bag. One of them.
Can you point to the sail track again?
There's a sail track here, right along.
And it comes along here too.
And then it's got press studs that they secure onto the side of the van, onto the end of the van. So feel free to use those. They are pretty good if it rains or it's stormy. Just protects the canvas a bit as well, and it stops anyone getting wet inside.
Yeah.
A little bit of moisture coming through the canvas. So up on the top bunk's always set up. Up on the top bunk, you'll get, these are the bed braces for each end. So gently, you'll see it's got that end on it. It's got the notched end with the receiver on the bar. So push that in, and then it's spring loaded. And then there's a tab there that is lock it in place. release both clips and then unfold your mattress. There's your double.
And there'll be mattress protectors on it. Hang on.
There's the forward one. Same thing there. Put it in situ. Unclip your mattress and fold it out.
Done.
240 volt. So if you are at a campsite where you do have 240 volt, 15 amp plug, that's connected up, and I'll show you what to do inside when we get in there. Your water, put the plastic key in, turn it clockwise, and use that center point, center connection to run your mains water. If you are having to fill the tanks, that's your rear tank and that's your front tank.
We'll have them filled before you go.
So, hot water system. If you're off grid, I'll show you what to do inside. But if you are on 240 volt, if you're at a site, then the on-off button is just here. So just make sure that's turned on. That's your electric hot water system. So with your gas bottles, we've got two. So you've just got to undo your latches, the shock cords on either side. If you find it easier, just remove the plastic cover.
Hang on.
Turn the gas bottle on. And then the selector, the valve, going to whichever gas bottle you've got on. Sorry. With cooking, so off-grid cooking, if you're having any issues getting this started after the fridge started, after turning the gas on, best bet is, most likely there's no gas in the line. So the best bet is to use this burner here, this closest one. Push it in, turn it to the left, ignite it, and then let it go. Hold it for a few seconds and then let it go. What that'll do is that'll get gas in the line and an easier way of getting the fridge working.
You don't leave it on
Don't leave it
long,
on,
just
no.
get the gas through and then
Get
turn
the
it
gas
off.
through, then turn it off. Best off not shutting the lid until such time that that's cooled down, 10, 15 minutes, thereabouts. Your grill, it's the same. So turn it to the left, ignite it, and you can see that. I don't know if you can see that, but you can just see there's a gas in there. And then once again, turn that off. Grill door must be left open when grilling. So running the fridge, you may have issues, well not issues, but it might take you a little while to get it going, but put the fuel selector to gas. Make sure the thermostat's on max. Hold your finger on this one with the finger pointing to it. You just keep igniting it until you can see that red lever, the red little needle moving. As soon as that red needle gets into the green, good to go.
Just like that?
Yep. So there is the gas hot water is up here. So this is only if you're going off grid. You don't need to turn this on if you're connected to the power. However, if you're off grid, you turn that on and then that red light will go off once it starts, once it gets going. But it's got to have water in the system. You've got to have either the water pump turned on, which is just here, bottom right button, or you got to be connected to mains town water, which currently we are. You can see that's just gone off now.
Yep.
And you can hear, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting. So that's going to start heating the water. Yep. It's only if you're off grid. So turn that off. We do have a temperature sensor for the fridge. You can see currently we haven't had it turned on, but it's currently a low of 21 degrees. So gives you a fair indication of what it should be. If you're too hot, too cold, you can adjust the thermostat to suit. Just be mindful that it does have a lot to do with ambient temperature. So if it is cold outside, you don't necessarily need to have it dialed right up. But if it is hot outside, we'd be more inclined to run it up. That's your solar input. Don't really have to do anything with that.
That one.
Yep. Also, sorry, on this one, it shows you if you are off grid and you're using the water tanks. They're not the most accurate gauges, however, that does give you an indication of how much water you've got. There's a front water tank and a rear water tank. The other two are not connected, so there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Also shows you battery voltage as well as amps in or amps out.
Cool.
So currently we're using some amps with the LED lights on around the place. So TV and aerial, this is the aerial here. You'll see up and down. So you wind it up until it stops.
You can
Just there.
look out this hatch to see it going up.
Yep. And then once you get the TV turned on, the TV is best run on 240 volt, but you can run it on 12 volt as well. There's the 240 volt, it's got a transformer. The 12 volts around this side, 12 volt socket. Turn it on, there's the aerial. And then once you try and...
You didn't turn it on?
Well, I didn't turn it on. But once you get it turned on, you simply just adjust the aerial to try and get the best reception.
Can you show us how to do that?
Yeah, so to adjust the aerial, it's got the outside collar. Drop the collar down and just rotate whichever way you think you need to go. So it can go right around 360 degrees. Well, it gets to there and then rotate it back the other way. But you've got full rotation there, so.
Yep.
To do with the hatch, so you've got the roof hatch there. There's a locking tab just here. Locking, so open that, and then it's got a few positions. It's got fully open. Well, it's got two positions, I should say. Fully open, and then that. Well, it does have the third one, which just allows you a little bit of ventilation. And then the next one is fully closed again. So if you do have it open, you've got the fly screen to keep bugs out, or you've got a full block out to go the other way. Your microwave will only work on 240 volt. It's not going to work on battery. We've already talked about the fridge. Your light, your TV, sorry. Your lights are two outside lights. Currently, you're looking at that light there. It's the only one that is working. We're just waiting on a strip light to arrive. That's the strip light, which currently is not there. These are all your internal lights. The off button will turn all lights off, outside and inside. So you've got the upper lights, and then you've got a selector for blue or white up there. Same thing with those other two. Or the other button is for lights, the LED strip lights under the cabinetry. When it comes to the air conditioning, once again, it's only going to work when you're connected to power. Turn it on and you'll see there's an indicator on what the current temp's set at. That's 20 degrees. So currently, if you're looking at that little symbol just there, that is dehumidifier, or that's the dry mode. That's just regular fan mode. That's heat mode, and that is that's auto recycle. And then you do have the cold, so you probably should be aiming it at that. You can hear it beep when it recognizes the signal. So that's on 21 and cold right now. Make sure that that's only ever turned on when the roof is popped up. It can't be turned on when the roof's down. Your Fusion stereo, so you can connect via Bluetooth. We'll leave the instructions here if you feel like wanting to do that, but it's not too difficult to do it. Another couple of quick ones. Number one, if you are off grid and you want the power, once you arrive to site, you need to turn the battery power back on. So currently we've got lights on, the battery's on. But if I flick that, that's battery off, and that turns, well, the lights are still on because they're running through the 240 volt.
Yeah, we've got that turned on too.
So if I turn the 240 volt off, we turn our lights off. So if you're just off grid, when you get to site, come on, turn your batteries on, and then you can turn your lights back on. There we go, the lights back on, and the water pump on. You should only turn your battery on and your water pump on when you're not connected to the grid, when you don't have the water connected and you don't have 240 volt connected.
Yeah.
When you get to site, when you've set up, there is this little adapter that's in the top drawer just under the sink there. This makes it a bit easier. It's a bit better for the shower rose. So it connects up there, and rather than having this, your shower head shooting this way, the shower rose, which is a little bit more height, and then it shoots away. Please be mindful that if this is soaked around here, it shouldn't be, because we will get water back into the van. So please be mindful not to soak right around the toilet cassette, the toilet cartridge or cassette. But yeah, it's just a regular mixer, and that's it. With the sink's just got a little press stud, little strap there. Rotate that out. The drain is okay, it works okay. It drains out to the side, so you'll see once you do take the plug out, lift the plug up, and you will get some drainage. Now you will notice when you do lift it back up, if all the water's not out of there, you will get a little bit run down. That's okay, that's fine. Just in relation to the toilet, once that's the cartridge is actually under there, which I just showed you earlier on, you open it and you hold the flush button.
Open it before you do the business.
Yep. Now, it is a preference of ours for no number twos. If you have to, do it, but we prefer if you didn't. It's just easy to keep clean.
If there's another toilet around.
And if there's another toilet around, just use that. In relation to the toilet cassette, it will be filled up, ready to go for you guys before the hire. If you do actually need to fill it up whilst you're away, or you need to empty it and refill it, then you unlock the hatch. We've got the two chemicals that need to go in the toilet. So number one is, if you want to fill up the fresh water.
That's the flush tank.
No, this is, oh yeah, sorry, it is. Fresh water's the flush tank. You'll see that there is a little funnel. That funnel's kept, it's actually usually just kept in there. So you put that in there, nice and tight. And you'll see on the right hand side here, there's a little sight gauge. So you can see there's already water in it. It's already almost full. So you just got to put the water in nice and slowly. So we just keep filling that until that's full. And just before you get to the top, you put around about 50 ml of this in.
It has a thing on the side so you can...
Yeah, so it gives you an indicator on the side. So that's at 650 at the moment. Oh, sorry, that's at 700 at the moment, so I'll take that down to 650. Close enough. Take that off, put your cap back on, and then push that back in. That's your flush tank ready to go. In relation to the cassette, lift you pull the tube out, lift your handle, pull it out, pull it right out, and then you can put it on the ground. Put that there for now. You've got to put one of these. This is empty at the moment, just at the end of the hire. This is what you guys need to do before returning the van, is to have the cassette emptied. Otherwise there is an additional charge for us to do it. This is just in case you need to refill it whilst you're away, while you got the van.
Yeah, this will all be done when you pick it up.
Yeah, put that back on.
Do you put any water in that one?
No. So then we put that back in. Well, the handy thing is as well, that handle comes out like that. So if you are wherever you are, you need to dump it, you can walk it. To empty it, you just simply take that off and then pour it in. Push that back in. Can't get it in there. There we go. Push that back in. We put the funnel in there. Close that. Put the chemicals away. Lock that up. Good to go. Just in relation to these side windows, they've got a few settings. So once you unlock the 4 locks, it goes out about that far and you'll hear a click. And then you'll hear the second click. Those 2 clicks, that's it. So once you just push it above that, it releases it and bring it back down. Do be mindful that if the kids are pushing that up too high, these windows up too high, they will actually pop out of the hinges, and they're really not that easy to fix. So it's quite fiddly to get them fixed. You've got a fly screen at the top, pull down, and that just locks into the tabs there. Then if you want privacy, push those 2 together and lift it up. And they are spring loaded, so just be mindful that if you do release these too quickly, it may flick up. So just control the connection and disconnection of it. And then it's the same thing with that window there. It's also got the fly screen and the pop out. One of the other keys, the little one, is for the outdoor table. When you are on mains power, you do have a 240 volt out there as well as an aerial and 12 volt plug.